above a set limit. So let's say I set $500 for myself. I want to be called anytime that there's a charge attempt on my card to my phone. And if it's me using the card, I can then input a PIN and type 2 or something like that, and the charge will go through no problem. If it's not me, I can prevent the charge and automatically talk to the credit card company's security department.
Wonderful.
Much better solution than what had happened in the past, where I had to close my account and $10,000 worth of expense had been charged. The bank today can prevent that by using voice mashups.
Excellent. Great. All right, Brent.
So the example that I'll give are a couple. First, one generic one. BackFlip is an enterprise software company, software as a service. And essentially, we're not just voice. We're multi-channel, untethered access to any business system. So whether it's system-initiated or user-initiated access to those business systems, we can either push that out just like BlackBerry does for email. We push that from the underlying system out to the users and then allow bidirectional interaction with that underlying business system securely. So that's essentially one how we work. An example might be customer places an order in their CRM system and they're over their credit limit. So there's really three elements that we address. One is the notification, and we're reducing, the whole point is reducing human latency on the business process itself. So one area is, of course, the awareness that the user has to become aware that this workflow item or business event has occurred. The second aspect is information gathering, so it might be the amount of the order, the credit check, et cetera. And then, of course, it's the decision, approve or reject that. So that's a simple example. Case in point, an oil and gas company in Houston, upstream oil and gas, if you're familiar with them, Anadarko Petroleum, put us on top of an SAP workflow for purchase requisitions and approvals. And the average time to resolution before it was communication enabled was 34 hours on average time to resolution. And afterwards, 3 months later, they recognized 3.5 hours on average time to resolution. So it's like an 89% business process improvement. Just sitting on top of and communication enabling, that simple decision point and, focusing on those three factors.
So I want to emphasize that for a second, which is, we're in the telephony business, we're used to making money on the minutes, right? And Anadarko is a company with a lot of inventory. A lot of stuff goes through. And if they have saved 30 hours on the requisition time, they have shrunk their inventories by 30 hours. And if you have a company which is buying a lot of stuff, 30 hours of inventory is a lot of money. And that is a good way to start thinking about and understanding voice mashup models. It's not necessarily about the transaction or the click. It's about the value that they generate for the companies that deploy them. So, so then here I want to continue my efficiency here. So Brent, one of the things that I love about your company in particular, and I'm going to bring this all the way down here, is your go-to-market, which is I think is the real classic problem of voice mashups. Is how do you sell them? People don't buy them. Okay, people don't say I want to buy a voice mashup today. Right? It's not really how the whole thing works. Right? But certainly there's a lot of value to be had here. Right. So what I want to do is I want to come down the line here, and I want you to talk about go-to-market strategies and sales channels and ecosystems. Okay, sure. If you would, all the way down, please.
Sure. So essentially, what we've done is, as I mentioned, it's software as a service, and so what we've done is actually removed, by going with that model, we've removed the unknowns of technology integration, business complexity, and then also, of course, the unknowns of transactional costs. So it's a subscription, pay-as-you-go service. So there's the hosted aspect of it, and then on the on-premise part, there's connectors that we have that fit into the various enterprise applications, whether it's Microsoft BizTalk, SAP, Oracle, Adobe, et cetera, that we provide these plugins into those systems that can rapidly communication enable these. Then on top of the connector framework, we build content packs. So you might have a content pack for sales managers of SAP that has this ready-made content plug and play.
Great. Perfect.
Okay, so in the enterprise space, we see this very much as a direct sales challenge. And yes, no company yet has business mashup, or communication mashup as a line item in their budget for the next year, looking for a vendor to come and supply that. So a lot of our work is evangelical and going out and talking up the capabilities and showing the business cases that do provide an ROI on this kind of investment. So what we do is introduce ourselves to a company after we've done some research on that company or that vertical industry. Come in with what we feel is low-hanging fruit, a project or an application that we think will benefit that particular customer. And what happens usually is in that initial discussion and discovery, we end up finding another area of application that's more interesting to that particular customer than what we came in the door with. So we're very much initiate the business dialogue, I guess, if you will, by talking about our capabilities and an entry kind of application. But what we found is that ultimately what happens is it's usually a different application that gets implemented.
Great.
So for Jaxtr as a consumer company, I guess we really have two options. One is advertising, and the other one is virality, and we opted for the latter, not having enough money to buy Super Bowl ads or put billboards up all over the city. And when we launched the service basically last year, we said, okay, let's pursue the viral strategy and build virality into the DNA of our product such that whenever people use the product, they expose other people to the product and kind of follow the viral formula. One person brings in another, and that person brings in another, and on it goes. So we were actually quite successful with that. We went from 0 users in March of 2007 to over 10 million users this year. So it was a pretty rapid growth, and that just continues to go on.
Okay. So lastly, okay, Irv, I'll have a follow-up on that one. So Irv, I'm being regimented.
There are somewhere between 20 and 24 million small or medium-sized businesses in the United States. There are millions more in Canada. We serve both those marketplaces. It would be impractical to sell directly to small businesses when their average purchase from us could be as little as $14 a month or could be in the thousands of dollars a month. So instead, we opted for a strategy to build a set of partnerships to develop, in essence, a resale channel and to build into the DNA of our applications and our infrastructure all of the things that a reseller would want. So a reseller for us falls into a couple different domains. It could be a web developer who already has a trust relationship with a mid-sized business because they built the website. And they go to that business and they say, we can now add voice to your marketing initiatives. It could be a direct marketing firm. It could be an advertising firm. It could be a lead generation firm. And in some cases, less often, it's a technologist with an idea, an entrepreneur looking to build something. So our approach is to build a channel, to build a very deep and solid channel that will take our products, our services, to the millions of potential buyers in North America.
Great. Okay, so here's my follow-up. I used the word enterprise early on, and what I meant to say was business process. And one thing which I am challenged on a lot is give me some good consumer voice mashup plays. And that's why I'm really happy for jaxtr to be up here, because I mark this down as my own